Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Nishmas Imi Marot. No, also, it's a hefsek. Nishmas Imi Marot. Serious, but Mordechai. I missed you. I missed Rabbi Sai. A tremendous yishkoach to Judah David for everything that he's done. Bagels every day. How's the food? Eitan Ogerek, how's the food?
I forgot to bring you potato chips, sorry.
Wow. It's great to be back. I'll tell you, there's no locks. Ever? Lenon's complaining. But Yishkoach Gadol, it's tremendous to see that every morning there was a nice tzibur.
Everybody should thank Eli. It wasn't me. It was Eli
Okay, go back to your seat.
Wanted everybody to be here. So I wanted everybody here to give a tremendous yashikoach to Eli for having in his heart and loving everybody. It was really love, and wanting everybody not to leave. And Eli, we love you back.
Shkoya, thank you so much. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. It's so good to be back. This is the real beginning of this year. All that is going to be cut out, Judah. It's great to be back. What a oilam. So Yishkoach Judah David for arranging breakfast here, I think almost every day. Yishkoach to the Hebrew shir. I want to show you real quickly. Last night, so I'll tell you real quickly what happened. I left Chicago Wednesday with my wife and my child, Yoel. We left 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and we flew to Washington, and from Washington to Greece, Yavon. Supposed to be a 9-hour layover. That's the way to get to Eretz Yisrael these days. And I was supposed to give shir in a hotel room. While we're in Greece, we get a message saying that your flight is not delayed by a few hours, but it's going to be 4 hours earlier, which is very unique and strange. So we take our stuff, we run to the airport without giving the shir. So to make a long story short, we get to Eretz Yisrael. Shir is supposed to be in Israel at 9 o'clock. We landed at 8:30. For the last few times I was in Chutz La'aretz, there's an anonymous sponsor. He sends me a car. So this guy says, "I'll take care of you. Don't worry, I'll take care of you." So my wife is dealing with it. She's on the phone with the guy. He says, "Come out to gate 32." So we go out to the gate 32. I start getting to the van. He says, "No. Not me." A guy comes running. He says, "Why are you going to the guy's van? What's wrong with you? You're supposed to call me." We said, "We did. Come in. I got a brand new van today." A brand new van. So it's beautiful. We get into the van. We load up 6 giant suitcases and all the things, close the doors. It takes a few minutes. We get in, but the guy can't start his car. And I'm getting all nervous. He says, "Brand new, I don't know the code." Doesn't it say 1-3 this? The kids are garnished. He goes over and over and over. 10 minutes we're sitting there. And meanwhile, the shir is starting. He calls up the guy, calls it this. He gets it going. He starts driving. As he's leaving the airport, he's like, "What street in Yerushalayim?" I'm like, "Not Yerushalayim, Bet Shemesh." He goes, "Oh, wrong van." So he pulls over to the side, and he waits until the other guy comes, and they start unloading kids. So when we got here to Bet Shemesh, the other one was here, and the Bet Shemesh ready for an hour. So this is the first time, Shamshi comes over to me afterwards, "This is the first time I saw you with your hair all fedazzled, not in the right place." Came in like didn't eat, didn't this. So that's last night. Today, no excuses. We're back, and it's a tremendous chizuk. We made some improvements to the way the shir is given in advance, that I think almost every day the shir was on time. Did we ever have difficulties? Every single day of Ben Hazmanim, the shir was given. A lot of people went out of their way, including Mark Ashkenazi, who's on right now, to make sure, even though he was in Phoenix and here and this, to make sure that the shir goes out on time and is ready for the Americans. Certain shiurim had to be given on Friday earlier, so that, because when I was in Los Angeles, Motzei Shabbos in Los Angeles is already past 7 o'clock here in Eretz Yisrael. What? One day you gave it? Okay, fine. But that was on purpose, so that you get to appreciate what you have. I want to show you this thing real quickly. This is from last night. So the excitement when I said Erev Tov Rabbi, I just want to show you. I'm zooming in here. Let's say this guy. This guy. How about this guy? It's a different It's a different You have to hear it to experience. You have to. Oh, here we have this one. This is already what time? 10:30 at night. After 10:30 at night. I see there's some people that double dip here. People were here for 2 hours. All right. Anyway, I want to say quick Shalom Aleichem. We have a lot of guests here. I see. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Yeah. What's the first name? You got me. Hirsch. Hirsch Sieber. Shalom Aleichem. From? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Who else? You have a lot. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? David Berger from? Queens. Shalom Aleichem. And you're not a guest, but Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Birzagim from? Oh, you're not. You've been here. Shalom Aleichem. Hi, him. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Einhorn from? You live in Bet Shemesh. Really? Shalom Aleichem. So, you're going to come every day, Be'ez Hashem? Every day you've been here. So you don't come for me, you come for the base measures. Gewaldig, I love it. Gewaldig. Computer at home now here. Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Who else? You. Levi Pine, Nuli Mishkafayim. Wow. You also just made Aliyah? 12 days ago. So look, there's a guy that made Aliyah less than you right next to you, Rabbi Zeret. Shalom Aleichem. Yaakov, what's your first name? Shalom. When did you make Aliyah? A week ago. So you have a week ago and 12 days ago. The Olam is moving to Eretz Yisrael. Gewaldig. Huh? Who else? What's your name? David Taylor?
Zevi Taylor from Beitar.
Zevi Taylor from Beitar. Shalom Aleichem. I didn't get the last name right, huh? It's, Taylor. Okay. You go. Okay, yeah. Who else? Who's that guy all the way in the corner? He's new. That guy next to you? Levi? Levi Friedman from? What are you doing here so early? You confused me. All right. Rabbi Isai. So if you've been listening to the shir, I just announced that we're doing a Hakoras trip to the larger donors of the shir, and we're going to Europe to very difficult. To the Chofetz Chaim's Kever, Belarus, which is very, very hard to go to. Be'ezer Hashem, we're going September 9th. And don't be upset. It's Hakoras HaTov. I think we all owe Hakoras HaTov to these individuals and say thank you that you don't have to go with them. I'm doing it for you. Today, when I started listening to the shir in English, I got a little disappointed in a personal level. I'm coming Be'ezer Hashem to Israel on September 9th for a week. I was planning to come live to the shir in Bet Shemesh, and now I heard that you are leaving to Poland, and I will miss it. Well, we're not going for a week, we're going for 3 days, so maybe we'll overlap. However, listen to this. The good news is, I'm away from New York, I'm making a stop in Poland for 1 day. The reason is, on September 9th, is the yahrzeit of the Tosfos Yontif. So I just, as a recommendation, maybe the Olam will be happy to go there on the day of the yahrzeit. The truth is, it's part of our plan, it's part of the itinerary. We're going to the Tosfos Yontif's Kever on his yahrzeit. So I don't know if we'll meet him, but it's very interesting. If we do, it'll be gewaldig. I'm right in the head. Passion is this week in Fort Lauderdale in Yoschos. You're joking, yeah? G. Itzkowitz. Did I put his picture? I don't know if I put his picture. If not, maybe we'll try to throw it in. I don't think this is him. Or maybe it is. Maybe this is G. Itzkowitz. Fine. I continue enjoying your daf daily, and I really look forward to it, especially now when you have been on vacation. The time of the shir is significantly shorter, and all the more so on 2-speed. Any chance when you're live you can go 2-speed? I'm always near. Ithaca, how do you spell it? Ithaca, New York? On a film program named MYS at Greek Peak. They had a nice interactive game show. Listen to this. They had a nice game show at MYS where all the audience members can pick the answers, and you made it to the questions. They spelled your name wrong, Nunu. By the views, Baruch Hashem, the views are beautiful and they keep our kids busy. Nice water park. Looking forward to seeing you back in MDY and RBS. Alex Gilden. Rabbi Sai, here are the questions that I made it to. Who started Daf Yomi? Rameir Shapiro, Eli Stefansky, Dirshu, and Aguda. That's funny. This is sad. 4% said Eli Stefansky started Daf Yomi. And here's an Israeli guy that says that his 6-year-old kid couldn't go to sleep after a full day of tiulim and then a barbecue. And he's saying, no, I have to do the daf. 6 years old. And at 12:22 a.m., he finished the daf, and he left the message on the WhatsApp chat that he finished the daf. Here he is. The mamish made me rigesh. How do you say rigesh? Not excited. Emotional. Here he is, the 6-year-old. Rabbi Isai, check this out. Here, this is unbelievable. This is a classic. A chassid with a shtreimel and weiße zokin next to a guy with, I don't know what color that is. Let's just say it's an interesting, nice suit. Taupe with a vest, with the whole thing. In the suit is empty wire, kidney donor, and volunteer firefighter from Fairlawn, New Jersey. Morty Strauss says, Tani Pollock's neighbor. This is from Chesky Pfefferkorn took this picture. What a beautiful sight, seeing White Sox, Shtreimel, different generations, different backgrounds, all united, listening to Rebelli during a chasana. Unbelievable. Rabbi Isai, Koilo sponsored the month Binyomin, Rosenfeld, Hatzlach in business. The Masechta sponsored for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh, Le'nishma Zechai B'Moshe, Le'nishma Zechai Bas Yosef. Paras HaChodesh. Yedidya Pereira. Thank you for all your tefilos. B'chazdi Hashem, Yehonathan, Osher, Yehuda, Ben Michal was granted bail to his home in UK. Paras HaChodesh, Binyomin, Rosenfeld was granted to Biderman, Eli, Gedale, Fenster to his podcast, and Michael Safdie. Paras HaShavua, Ari and Atara Stawis, in honor of our 15th year wedding anniversary and coming up on 2 years doing the daf, 2-year daf anniversary. Shkoyach, Mazal Tov, continue learning and steiging, and Shalom Bayis. Mazal Tov to Avi and Rosalie Hauptman on the engagement of their granddaughter, Michal Eckstein to Avi Bursztyn, a former lone soldier, both of Teaneck, New Jersey. Pardas Hayoim in honor of Ruthie's birthday. Mazal Tov. Pardas Hayoim in memory of Eliezer ben Shmuel Tzvi Shup by his children, and Shom should have an Aliyah. Pardas Hayoim, Refuah Shlema for Shira Bas Chemda, El Chol Chol Yav Yisrael, and for Parnasa, Amen. Pardas Hayoim, Yosef Shlomo ben Risha, and Pardas Hayoim, Yankee Gross, caught Satan Luke Montreal upon the birth of his daughter Ruchel 8 years after their twin boys with Hakoras HaTov to her belly for his bracha at the MDY Shabbos 9 months ago. Shkoyach, I'll make it to my sefer. 9 months and 1 day. Shtickle off, we'll have Chelik 2, 9 months exactly. Art of the month for Zchus, for Rebelli, and the whole MDY staff and continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Oh, I missed the Parnas Hayoim, sponsored by Kinnovations LLC, Lili Nishmas, Rabbi Yaakov Shlomo ben Yechiel, father Rabbi Chanan Pressman. Oh, yeah. We were davening for him on turning the daf, no? Who was just nifted overnight. He was a true role model of Mechina for many decades, helping shape and guide thousands of Talmidim to become B'nai Torah. Oh, so Rabbi Chanan Pressman is sitting Shiva. The Neshama should have an Aliyah. Rabbi Sai, we're holding Daf Samachay Beis. I want everybody, before we start, to give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Be'emes, it's a tremendous accomplishment to go through Bein Hazmanim, learning Torah every day. I received numerous emails, especially from Avreichim and Yeshiva guys. A bunch of Yeshiva guys wrote in that the daf saved them because it's very difficult for Yeshiva guys and for Avreichim to learn during Bein Hazmanim. It's a time that you feel like a release. There's a lot of pressure during the year, and now comes a time that I can just relax. And a lot of guys that are learning full time don't learn during Bein Hazmanim. So the fact that the Olam is learning and continuing learning, and I know there are a lot of people that do learn during Bein Hazmanim. I'm just saying, me as myself, from my own experience, as a Kollel guy, I barely learned during Bein Hazmanim. So we're here Bein is coming to an end, so yishkoyach for sticking with it, and especially those who came to this marriage to be mechazik others, yishkoyach. Tanu Rabbanan. So we're in the middle of a beautiful sugya, and today, as short as this daf is, we're going through beautiful, beautiful sugyas. Here's a kli, mortar and pestle. I should have brought one. I have one. A few people gave me a gift. We have an MDY one. Not on my game. It's a kli. It's a vessel like any other vessel. The kabel tumah, the whole thing, whatever it is, this stone, okay. But what happens if you take this kli and you attach it to the ground? You cement it into the ground. It starts out as a kli and now it's part of the ground. Does it have a halacha of karka or not? We had a similar case. Let's pretend that I use this case as the case I just mentioned. Now we're going to switch this picture, use it as something else. Here's a stone sticking out of the wall, let's say, and the guy hollowed it out and made it into a kli. That's a very different case because it didn't start out as a kli. It started out as part of the wall, as part of the house. And later on, you made it into a kli. That already has more connection to house than a kli. So yesterday, we had a halacha from Reb Lezer that says that no matter what, if it started as a kli, later on became a kli, it's considered karka. We're going to see the sheet of Chachamim also. No matter what, no matter if it started as a kli, no matter if it started as a rock and you made it into a kli, it has a halacha of a kli. They both say the opposite shitas. Reb Lezer says everything is karka. Chacham say everything is a kli. And now we're going to introduce similar halachas, taking us on a wild ride through Shas. You take a pipe, you take a piece of wood, and you hollow it out, like over here. You hollow these pieces of wood out. So those are kalim. It's a kli. It could hold something in it. You take it and you put it into the wall. You make it into a faucet. And water goes through it into a mikvah. Now, a mikvah we know. We're pretty familiar with the halachas of the mikvah. We might have a few surprises, very small ones. A mikvah has to be 40 sa of rainwater or mayan water. But if you take faucet water, you take water, make sham, and you put it in a kli, it becomes pasal, the water. It becomes shuvim, mayim shuvim. So, we're going to see a few halachas later on. Let's say you have a mikvah with 40 sa of make shamim, of good kosher water, and you add another sa of faucet water. You're okay. There is a way to make it pasal later on. If you put in a lot of make shamim and you take out, let's say you put in 20 sa of faucet water and you take out 20 sa of water, then it becomes pasal because you might have taken out the make shamim. Okay, we'll see that a little later. This is very, very simple. You took a piece of wood and you formed it into a vessel and you put it into the wall. And now it catches your water. In those days they didn't have plastics, they didn't make plastic pipes. You made wood pipes. You took a piece of wood and you made a pipe out of it. And now it's part of your house, like right over here in this picture. Is it your house or is it a kli? It's the same, l'chayr, it's the same question as we had before. You take a mortar, a machtesh, and you cement it into the floor. Does it become part of your house or it's a kli? Is this pipe part of your house or it's a kli? Let's see what it says. It's a kli. So now we have a very interesting thing. We have something that we didn't have before. We have the bryce in the middle, in blue, with one red and one green. Rebbe Lezer is all green. Everything is good. Everything is karka. If you take a kli and you cement it to the floor, I don't care. It's the floor. It's not a kli. It's green. It's karka. Chacham say, you take a floor. It's a floor. You bought a house as is, and you take your jackhammer and you make a hole in the floor and you make a kli out of it. You make a place to to crunch your herbs, it becomes a kli. Your floor becomes a kli. Everything is red. The Brisa takes a little bit from Rebbe Lezer and a little bit from Chachamim. It says depends. If it was a kli and you attach it to your floor, then it's a kli, it's red. But if it was attached to the floor and then you made it a kli, then it's a karka. So the Gemara says this doesn't go like Rebbe Eliezer. Okay? So initially, if you look at it, it makes sense. It doesn't go like Rebbe Eliezer. Rebbe Eliezer is all green, and this is red and green. It can't be Rebbe Eliezer. Gemara has a problem with it. It's not so posh that it's not Rebbe Eliezer. So let's see. Mani, who does this blue Bryce in the center go like? Loy Rebbe Eliezer, v'loy Rabbanan. L'chayra, it doesn't go like Chachamim. Why? Chachamim say everything is a kli, regardless. Even if you started out as a piece of a wall and you made a hole in the wall, it becomes a kli. The Bryce says no, that if it's part of the wall and it becomes a kli later, it's not a kli, it's karka, green. Loy Rebbe Eliezer, it can't be Rebbe Eliezer because Rebbe Eliezer is all green. He doesn't have anything that's a kli. He says everything is a karka. Even if it started out as a kli, once you attach it to the wall, it becomes a karka. So it can't be the Brisa. The Brisa can't go like him. Wait a minute, says the Gemara. This is today's sugya. Who's this Brisa like? Could it go like anybody? Could it not go like... What's going on here with this Brisa? The mikvah Brisa. This is the Brisa of a mikvah. Again, you take a pipe and you attach it to the wall and water travels through it into the mikvah. I mentioned this a number of times. I was just excited about it. It's a weird thing. I don't think anybody in this room experienced this. As a 15-year-old, I helped my father build a mikveh in our house in Kensington. We dug a big hole in our basement. My father's a gronik, as you know, and the gro used to go to the mikveh every single day, including Shabbos. So my father also went to the mikveh every single day, including Shabbos. So did I. People don't know. They think it's just for Hasidim. Not true. Litvaks also go, real Litvaks. So, dug a giant hole, and one of my father's relatives, Heschel Pupko, I think his name, what was his last name? Heschel. Still, these are Fush Lem, I think. Heschel. He helped us with the cement and the this and that. Kitzer. So I learned a lot of halachas. There was on the basement floor, we fashioned this thing, like this. The water would come off the roof and flow through the hamshacha on the floor into two bairas. We had a bar zriya, bar hashaka, different things you learn. So if on the floor wasn't part of the floor, it was cement. It was like part of the floor. But let's say in our case, you take a piece of wood that you fashioned, you made a kli. So it says over here that if you made it a kli first and then you put it on the floor, it's puzzle. It makes the water as if it's shuvim, as if it was in a kli. This cannot go like Rebbe Eliezer. So Gemara says, what do you mean? Lo Rebbe Eliezer, lo Rabbanan, hey Rebbe Eliezer. Which Rebbe Eliezer are you telling me that it can't go according to? Eli Rebbe Eliezer, the bias. If you're telling me you're talking about the one with the house that we just spoke about, what's the one of the house? This guy, or let's call this one, better. Rebbe Eliezer, the house. Rebbe Eliezer, the one that you take a kli and you cement it to the floor. Rebbe Eliezer says this is karka. And we just said that when it comes to mikvah, it's a kli. So it can't go. Not true. No. Dilma Hainu Taima, maybe Rebbe Eliezer says a special halacha when it comes to a mortar and a kli. Yeah? When you sell your house and you have a built-in refrigerator, let's say. People, especially in America, counter-depth refrigerator is built in with it matches all your cabinetry. Are you going to pull that thing out of the house? Most likely, you'll just sell it as is. Why? Moicher, Bain Yafa Moicher. You're not going to start being stingy now and start making the guy, he's going to buy a refrigerator, it's not going to match ever. How is he going to get the panels on the refrigerator? You know how it goes? They put those panels on the doors of the refrigerator in America. Sometimes in Israel also. You know what I'm talking about? So if it's built in, let it stay there. Let's say you have one of those can openers that's drilled into your kitchen wall. You're going to start unscrewing it now and leave the guy 2 holes in the wall. No, you'll just leave it there. So this machtesh, you will. You're an Ayin Ra guy. But most people are Ayin Yafa. So I have no idea. I just heard somebody say, I would. Shkoyach. Exactly. That's why there's a machlokes here. If people are buying Yafa or Ayin Ra. Here, machlokes. Are people large when they sell their things? Look, you're making a killing on the guy. You made a $500,000 profit. You're going to take the can opener with you? Don't be silly. Just leave the can opener. Okay, so it could go like Rebbe Lezer, because Rebbe Lezer says a special halacha when it comes to this mortar thing. But when it comes to mikvah, what's the connection? Mikvah water, maybe you would say it's not karka. Maybe you'd say it's a kli. And with pasul, listen, this is a question in D'oraisa. A person that has to go to the mikveh with D'oraisa, and you tell me that this water is kosher water. Why? Because he said by a mortar that it's part of the house. So this pipe is also part of the house and made it kosher. Meanwhile, this person is completely tamei with D'oraisa. He had a bad mikveh. How can you compare the two? Says Gemara, Ella, Rebbe Lezer the Kaver's Dvorim. So I want to show you this beautiful thing. We're talking about a beehive here. Check this out. Here's a beehive. I want to show you this video and tell me what you think. Rashbam says that this beehive is attached to the ground with cement, but it's the same idea. A guy attaches this beehive to a tree. I love the hexagons. They're beautiful. There's unbelievable symmetry. How they do that. Question: this beehive, is it karka or metaltalin? In other words, how do I buy it? Do I buy it with a meshicha, mesira, chazaka, chalipin, sudar? How do I buy it? Do I buy it like I buy a karka? And big enough, give me to check this out. If it's karka, karka is bought with money, shtar and chazaka. You can't buy a car with money. It doesn't work. You have to do a meshicha. Second of all, if I have karka, if I sell you a beehive and it's considered karka, then I could buy your bike and your computer and everything else that's in another country, kinyanaga. Third of all, if it's karka, then I could write a prusbul. If I borrow money, then the malva could write a prusbul. He could lend me money before Shemitah and I have to pay him back. If it's not karka, I don't even own a beehive and I rent an apartment, I don't own a beehive, I can't get a prusbul. What is it? No, Rabbi Isai, what do you say? Karka or metaltalin? What do you guys say? Metaltalin, Gevaldik. You're right, according to one shita. Says the Gemara, Bisnan, Kaveres Dvairim. Here, let me just show you this also, because this is important a little bit to the sugya.
There are bees in the brick column, and I believe they were here last spring, and the hive is booming.
One of their main entrances is right here. They're also going into the right side of the column as well. Now that we've removed
all that black over there is all bees, yeah? Millions of bees.
Coming back up. Look at that, huh?
So if a guy takes that, like he's about to do, he takes that and attaches it to the floor. The question is, does it become karka or it's still metaltalin? I don't think it's a good idea to touch it like that. No. Okay. So that's what happened over here in the sugya. We have to say, the Rashbam says, he took it and attached it to the ground. Because then it's similar to our sugya where he takes the mortar and attaches it to the ground. And let's see what does Rebbe Eliezer say. Rebbe Eliezer Oimer, last line on the Amud, Harehi kekarka. If you take that thing and you attach it to the ground, it has halacha of a karka. It's considered complete karka. Now, just to show you the psukim real quickly, it says in the pasuk that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you know that Shemitah is coming up. Shemitah is going to knock out the loan. So you're not going to want to give him a loan. Why? Because he's scared it's going to be erased. The Torah also says, you shouldn't pressure him. You shouldn't. So if you, the lender, if you have a mashkoin, you could take the money from him on Shemitah. You have a mashkin. You're not pressing him. You're not worried. If he doesn't pay you, you'll take his day. So if you have a piece of, I'm just saying the Rishbam, if you have a piece of karka, it's as if you have a mashkin. It's as if you have collateral. You, the borrower, if you have a piece of land, then you're not gonna, the lender's not gonna press you because you have land and you could go after the land. So, Memela, the question is this beehive land or not? Right? Because Chacham didn't want to uproot a mefurish of pasuk in the Torah. The Torah says you have to lend people money and don't get rid of Shemitah. Now the whole principle gets rid of Shemitah basically, but they said no, we're sticking within the guidelines of the Torah because as long as you have a mashkin, I could give you a loan. So you have karka, I could give you a loan, and I don't know, it's not going to be erased. It's not Tomei because it's karka. Karka doesn't become tomei. You take off a piece of the beehive like the guy did, chayiv chatos, it's considered koitzer. One of the lamites milachas is to cut wheat. Cutting a beehive, if it's part of the karka, it's like cutting a tree. I want us to just stop here for a second. We learn a lot of beautiful things from bees. One of the things that scientists are still struggling to figure out is we know that when a bee finds pollen in a flower, it goes back to the beehive and relays the message to all the bees. He dances, he does a dance, and they figure out by the dance exactly where it is. First of all, they figured out there's two types of dances. There's a short dance, means that it's short distance, long dance is long distance. Exactly how they know by the dance where it is, that they haven't figured out yet. But it's gewaldic, because we can learn from the bees. When we see the sweet beauty of the Torah and the Daf, what should we do? We should go dance in front of our friends and tell them about it. Oh. Give them directions, how to get there. Oh, it's not karka, so therefore you can't write a pruzbul, and therefore it's mikabel tumah. Why is it mikabel tumah by itself? Because food is mikabel tumah, but food, in order to be mikabel tumah, you have to be machshel mikabel tumah. That's the whole sugi that we're coming up to soon. This is mukshel mikabel tumah. It's already susceptible to tumah. Why? Because it's one of the shiva mashkim. So, here's the problem. In the Brisa it says, let's look at the Brisa again, the blue, that if you have a kli and then you attached it to the ground, it is considered a kli. A kli that you attach to the ground is a kli. And what does Rebbe Lezer say? When it comes to a beehive, that if you have a beehive that's like a kli, and you attach it to the ground, you took it out of that big column, you took it and you attach it to the ground, the halacha is, Rebbe Lezer says, it's karka. You can write a pruzbul, da-da-da. It's not mikabel tumah, it's karka. Rebbe Lezer says that taking something, a kli, and attaching it to the ground, it's karka. So, and in the Brisa it says that when it comes to a mikvah, you take a piece of wood and you attach it to the ground, it's a halacha of a kli. So it doesn't fit with the Rebbe Lezer. That's here's where the Brisa that says the Rebbe Lezer and the Rebbe Lezer and the Brisa don't go together. Yes, the Olam's holding with me. Hassam, no, that's very different. Don't bring any raya from a beehive. Hassam kedam Rebbe Lezer taima, Rebbe Lezer my taima the Rebbe Eliezer. Rebbe Lezer explains Rebbe Eliezer, two different people. What's Rebbe Eliezer's reason? The chsiv vayitbal oisa b'yaras advash. Yehonathan did a whole thing with the Plishtim, was killing out the Plishtim. War killed them. They got confused. He was very, very hungry. After war, you get hungry. So he took his staff, dipped it in honey, and ate it. The problem is that his father Shaul made a shvuah that nobody's going to eat, and he ate. His father said the tzars started happening. Somebody must have eaten. Who ate? Whoever ate, even if it's my own child, I'm killing him. They did a whole girl, Klai Yisrael, and Shaul and Yehonathan on one side. It came out that it's Yehonathan and Shaul. Then they did another girl between Yehonathan. It's Yehonathan. Okay, off with your head. I have to kill you. We made a deal that even if it's my own son, I'm going to kill him. So we say this in Vayitin L'cha. What's the pasuk again? Chalila mipol misayir s'roishei arza. She also says Shua Gedale Zois Chalila. What? V'loy meis. Vayiv this Yonatan v'loy meis. So they didn't kill him. Fine. So here's the story. Vayit v'loy v'yaris advash. He dips his staff in a forest of honey. Oh, but it says forest in the pasuk. So meila mayara toish min b'shavas chayiv chatos. Avdvash already min b'shavas chayiv chatos. Just like if you chop off a branch from a tree in a forest, you're chayav. If you did it by mistake, you're chayiv chatos. B'meizid chayiv misa. So dvash also, since it's word after word, vayiv b'yaris advash. Special halacha when it comes to honey. Don't bring a riot to mikveh or anything else. That's why the halacha by a beehive, Rebbe Elazar says it's like karka. It's like a forest, but it's a special halacha by honey. Ella. Okay, so which Rebbe Elazar doesn't get along with this brisa? We try to say it's the one with the mortar and pestle. We said no, that's a special halacha. A person sells his house with a nice eye. We try to say it has to do with a beehive. No. So maybe it has to do with this. It's not. A couple of videos here. If anybody doesn't know how you make bread, here's a beautiful video. There's a few good things here, a few geschmackes stuff here. So this is Daf Nachtoimim here, right over here. According to one pshat in the Rashbam, it's the piece of wood that they do their dough. Here, this guy pressing on the piece of table, flat piece of table. That's one pshat. I'll show you another pshat. But this is very important to see for entertainment purposes only. The best part is coming up, when they almost fall into the oven. It's very geschmack, I promise. Turning on the gas. Here, it's coming up. Hold on. Oh! Yeah. It's a home malacha. It says every 4 days one guy goes in there and doesn't come out. Yeah. It's geschmack. It's nervayim. Okay, anyway, so no, it continues. So this Daf Shelach, this is very, very important. But we have this throughout Shas. They used to bake on the walls of the oven. This is how it's done. The whole Masechtas Shabbos talks about this. How we didn't have this in Shabbos? L'maisar Rabbi said, "You guys gonna come home?" I don't know what happened with Rebbe Elazar and the Chachamim. The kli is a part of the thing. All I know is how you make bread. The guy is unbelievable. Okay, so now, and then they sell it over here. Hold on, there's a good thing in here. I think they're saying it's geschmack to do the daf. Anyway, and then, hold on, we have another daf shenachtoimin. Not this one. This right over here. That you see, so according to another pshat, it's just not as exciting. It's the piece of wood that they sell the bread on here, like over here. So, after all this, what do you gain from this? Nothing. It's not. You take a flat piece of wood and you put it in the wall. Now, what kind of piece of wood are we talking about? It's nice and smooth. That means they took tools, they smoothed it out. So that's similar to chakokoi, that they made it into a vessel. As much as a flat piece of wood could be a vessel, this piece of wood, if you look at it, it went through some process. It didn't come off the tree like this. It's nice and smooth. The edges are rounded off. So Rebbe Elazar is matayr. So that means that a daf shel nachlaim, even though they fashioned it in some way, right? What's the halacha? Rebbe Elazar says tar, meaning it's karka. Karka. And what does the Brisa say? Let's go back. Brisa says, what's the center one? That if you fashion something, you put it in the wall, it's a kli. Rebbe Elazar just said it's karka, and the Brisa says it can't go together. Rebbe Elazar and mikvah, the center Brisa can't go together. Mani. So the bottom line is, who's the center brisa? This middle brisa, you take a piece of wood and you fashion it and you attach it to the wall and water goes through it it's considered puzzle water for a mikvah. Who does it go according to? Even if you fashion it and then later on you make it kavua, look what it says in the right side. Rebbe Lezer says everything is considered karka. And the Brisa says it's a kli problem. It also can go according to Rabbanon, because according to Rabbanon, everything is red, everything is a kli. And the Brisa says that there's a case of a karka. Even if it was part of the wall and you made it into kli, it's also considered a kli according to Chachamim. According to the Brisa, it's considered karka. Says Gemara, let's try again. Maybe it's Rebbe Lezer. B'shani pshuti kliyetz, the tumah de Rabbanon. What are we saying? The problem is, so again, we have a daf shanachtoimim that this piece of wood is attached to the wall, and Rebbe Lezer says it's considered karka. You know why? Because it's a pshuti kliyetz, a flat piece of wood is not really supposed to be mekabel tumah. It's not a real kli. It's not a cup. It can't hold anything. It's a flat piece of wood. Who makes it tamei? Rabbanon. So you know what? Since it's Rabbanon and it's attached to the wall, I'm going to be Michal on it. I'm going to say that it's like the wall. But in general, if I take a kli, and I attach it to the wall, Rebbe Lezer is going to hold that it's a kli. Shani pshuti kliyeh, it's the tumah de Rabbanon. So I want to make a distinction. I want to say that when it comes to a piece of wood attached to the wall, it's not mekabel tumah. But when it comes to a piece of wood that water goes through it into my mikvah, then it's considered what? A kli. Rebbe Lezer himself is going to say that it's considered a kli. Why? Because it's a kli. I fashioned it as a kli, and it's now bringing water into my mikvah, so it's ma'im shuvim, it touched a kli. When it comes to tumah, you said that if a simple piece of wood attached in the wall, that either they make the bread on it or they sell the bread on it, he says, oh, that's not tamei. You know why? Because it's a simple piece of wood. So he's Michal on it. But you want to tell me that when it comes to mikvah, he's machmer. Why? Because it's deraisa. Shuvim, the problem of shuvim is the deraisa problem. Says the Gemara B'Shanim Pshuti Glei to the Rabbanon. Michal. And why does he say a different halacha when it comes to the piece of wood? Should I show you this piece of wood? Why does he say, oops? Why is he saying this piece of wood that it's a kli? Because over here it's a deraisa problem. That's the Gemara. It's not true. It's also the Rabbanon. You're telling me that a flat piece of wood is a problem, the Rabbanon, so he's Michal. Shuvim is also the Rabbanon. So where do we see that Shuvim is the Rabbanon? Here. So let me just show you this real quickly. It's a beautiful halacha. This might be a chiddush to some people. I mentioned it before quickly. Here you have a mikvah. Guys in the mikvah. Tznius. 40 saw is great if it's rainwater. You add another 20 saw from the faucet here. Add another 20 saw. We're all good. But once you remove 20 saw from that 60 saw, that makes the mikvah pasul with the Rabbanon. So says the Gemara, so it's also in the Rabbanon issue. You missed the boat over there. You told me that we're talking about a wooden piece attached to the wall, like, I just need to remind Oilam what we're talking about, like this, a wooden piece. Yeah, so over there we can be Michal and say that it's not mekabel tumah. No, we're talking about a piece of metal. And a piece of metal is mekabel tumah d'oraisa. The whole machlokes over there is a piece of metal that's attached to the wall. So you can't go with a teretz that it's the Rabbanon versus the d'oraisa. Says the Gemara Lo'ilam Rabbanon the brisa of the mikvah with the pipe. Let's go back. Visual. This brisa goes according to Rabbanon. What's the problem? Let's see the problem. Rabbanon say everything is considered a kli. Even if it started out as a kli, that for sure is a kli. But even if it was part of the wall and you made a hole in the wall and you made a vessel out of it, it's also a kli. That doesn't go well with the brisa. You see the bottom of the brisa is green. The second part of the brisa, number 2 is green. Rabbanon number 2 is red. How does it line up? Rabbanon say it's a kli and the brisa says it's karka. Vishani shiva the Rabbanon. The brisa is talking about a mikvah. And then the problem of Maim Shuvim by the mikvah is the Rabbanan problem. And that's why it's considered like a karka in the Brisa. That's why number 2 is green. It's karka because it's only the Rabbanan. Says Gemara Yehachi, Afilu Chakaka L'Masif K'vay Nami. So Rabbanan should also say, even the Brisa should say, look, the first part of the Brisa, halacha number 1 in the Brisa, that if you start off with a kli and you attach it to the mikvah, it should also be good water. Why is it a problem? It's only Maim Shuvim. The whole problem Maim Shuvim, the Rabbanon, it shouldn't be a problem. The problem is, you know what the problem is, Rabbi Yisai? You're going to get rid of the whole Maim Shuvim thing. If people see that you can take a piece of wood that's fashioned as a kli, attach it to the wall, and run your mikvah water through, Gary's deals with this all day long. Yeah? Filling up the mikvah with kosher, not kosher. So he's a mumch in this. You could ask him after shir. If people see that this works and you're makel on it, why? Because it's only Maim Shuvim. So they're going to come take water from the sink and fill up a mikvah. They're just going to take a kli. Here, I saw my father take a pipe that was originally a kli and attach it with cement to the floor and get water into his mikvah. Usually it's a problem, it's a kli. And by mikvah we said it's not a problem. Why? Because it's only the Rabbanon. So you're going to take the whole kli, fill up baskets of water and pour it into the mikvah. That's why we say that if it starts off as a kli, we have to be machmir. Brand new sugar, Rabbi Yisai. Oh, sponsors. I thought you were going to ask me a good question in the Gemara. I was getting all nervous, so I was ignoring you. Sponsored by Yisrael Sher. Yisrael Sher, where is he? Yisrael Sher, we need you here. Construction, management, and supervision in the life share community, protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. Ari Rosenfeld was in Los Angeles. Yishkoch to him for being there and being Hazmanim. We did tremendous. We got a lot of new people, maybe 60 new people to join the groups. We got people to step up. Natan Kashnudin, remember him? When he came with his 2 sons, he moved back to Los Angeles. He's taking things very serious. His mom is jumping into the Gedale. Innovation, let's see, my uncle Rebbe Chanan Pressman. He should have an Chama, Rebbe Chanan. And Fischel, and it's Chusva Kiv Simcha Ben Fego, and if you do this Basiafa, Chaya. We got to move. We did have a little bit of a late start, but we're almost done. So, Rabbi Yisai, beautiful sugya. I know it's short. We don't have a lot of time, but check this out. The name of the sugya is called Hechsher Toma. It's brought in Shas many, many times. For an apple to accept Toma, to become Tameh, you first have to wet it on purpose when it's detached from the tree. So right now it's green. It cannot be Mekabel Toma. If you touch it, it remains. If a Tameh person touches it, it remains tahar. Now, even if it's wet, you see how now it's full of rain and everything? You touch it, it's not Mekabel Toma. Why? Because it's attached to the tree. But if you detach it from the tree and you touch it, it's not Mekabel Toma. Why? Because it wasn't wet. But if you pour water on it, then it becomes susceptible to Toma, becomes purple. Now you unlocked it. Before it was locked from becoming Toma. Why? Because it wasn't wet. But once you wet it, now it's unlocked, and therefore if a person who's Tameh touches it, it becomes red, it becomes Tameh. Now, we're going to learn a beautiful halacha here that a lot of us didn't know before. Even if you knew what Hechsher Tumah is, you didn't know this halacha. So just for that, it was worth coming here and staying here. You hear Rabbi Dambi? I know it's 8:07, but it's Friday, so it's geschmack that you're here. There's a halacha that says not only does it work. Now, if it rained on your apple and you didn't know about it, that's no good. You have to know about it. You have to want it. What if you want to wash your car? You don't want to wash your apple. You want to wash your car. You're spraying your car, and by mistake, water from the car that you sprayed spritzed your apple with water. Is it Moksha L'Kabel Tumah or not Moksha L'Kabel Tumah? Yes or no? I love it. There's a yes and a no. Every table has a yes and a no. And the answer is yes. Why? Because you wanted the water. You're right. I know why you're saying no, and you're probably right, Misvari. So listen, you didn't want it on the apple. You wanted the water, not the apple. What if you wanted to spray your esrog tree, Rabbi Schoenberg, who has a beautiful esrog tree in his backyard, works hard on it. You wanted to spray your esrog tree, and there's an apple on the floor and got spritzed with water. Moksha L'Kabel Tumah, not Moksha L'Kabel Tumah? Not Moksha L'Kabel Tumah. Why? Because it's part of the ground. You're trying to spray the ground. Whereas when you try to spray your car is metaltalin. I'll ask you a question. What about a kli that is connected to the ground? Here's the beautiful picture that Yoshi did. Istrabulin. This is the bottom part of the mill that's made out of wood. And you want the rain to wash it off. Here in Eretz Yisrael, you should see what my car looks like from not driving in the whole Bein Hazmanim. an inch of dust. I would love the rain to come and over here it's outside. He wants the rain to come and wash off his mill. Why not? Huh? He only wants? Yeah. I don't know if that's true because it's karka. Yeah, we have to look into it. Michal says that it's only the rain on the tree versus him pouring the water on the tree. Okay, he's saying it's a mishnah. I don't like to argue on mishnahs usually. We have people that do. I'm not on that madrega. Boy Rav Yosef, make sham shechoshav aleim ladiacha etzerbulen. It's rainwater. It says before it's rainwater, so maybe he's right. Rainwater that he wanted to wash off is etzerbulen. That's the wooden piece on the bottom of the mill. Maul is roim. What's the halacha when it comes to fruit? Zroim, all meaning wheat, but also apples. And according to Rebbe Lezer, that says that anything that's attached to the ground is like a ground. It's not a shayla. Why? Then it's ground. Ground is no good. Ground is not machshel kavatuma. The whole question would be Alib the Rabbanon, the army in karka, according to Rabbanon, that said it's not like karka. My teiku, I don't know. Shalach, we'll just do a few more lines because it's the continuation. Shalach lei Rav Nechemi Bereira Rav Yosef Rabbi Bereira Rav Huna Zuti Lenardo. He asked him in Nardo. There's a halacha that when a father dies, leaves a Yerusha. Some of the Yerusha goes to sustain the girls and the wife. A girl that's getting married, she gets an adunya. She gets, how do you say adunya in English? Dowry. You didn't know this, but she gets a dowry. Now, if the father had other girls and he gave each girl $100,000, this girl automatically gets $100,000. What if she's the oldest girl in the family? How much does she get? 10%. Only from real estate. Now the question is, you should take the 10%. Even from the mill. What do you see a mill is? Real estate, karka. You take even from rent. Rental money. I just want to explain what the Rashbam says. Not rental money that came into the pocket already, because rental money that comes off real estate is considered what? Metaltalin. When is real estate money considered real estate? When the person owns it, because we said, so if a person stays in a house for a year, he owes the money at the end. So that money is considered real estate, and that goes to the girl. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day, have a good Shabbos, Motzi Shabbos, 10 o'clock.